Hey, it's Will from Too Much Gaming, and I'm here with Iggy Javellana from Muramasa Games, and you're here with your game Save the World, the Misadventures of Luis and Joana. All right, so we got a chance to play it, and tell us a little for our audience out there. Tell us a little bit what the game is, like what your inspiration, and I guess what was the impetus to develop this type of a game for you?
So in terms of the technical description, it is a procedural generated roguelike dungeon crawler. But in layman's terms, I would say it's Binding of Isaac meets a Pinoy Scott Pilgrim. That's what I would always say. And the reason why we put this together was because I was very much in love with the roguelike genre. I have a lot of hours spent on Binding of Isaac, and I really wanted to represent the Filipino pop culture in games. Ever since I can remember, I used to work for Yehe and Level Up, and I always pride myself in trying to put in a little bit of Filipino flavor in international games. So this was a chance for us to do just that. And what better way than to do it in a game that would feature the Pinoy humor, right? And the main reason why we dove into PC and Steam right away is because we realized that mobile was becoming very difficult to work with because you needed a lot of money to be able to market your games well. Sure, it's easier to develop for mobile, but it's also much harder to create a successful product. Right. And seeing that there were a lot of very strong communities on Steam, we decided that hey, maybe this is the way to go. Right. So keeping our fingers crossed, we hope that we made the right decision.
You brought up an interesting point that like it's easy to develop on mobile, but at the same time, because of that, we see so much junk in the mobile, on the iStore, in the Android, Google Play Store. So it's really hard to put yourself apart. And with Steam, it's more like the audience is selecting you. They looked at your product, they like it, they want to see more of it. So it's kind of a good. I know stuff does get through now and then, but in general, it's a good filter for what people want. So, you've been here for the past 3 days at ESGS, showcasing your game. What has the reaction and the reception been so far from people who have tried it out?
Well, in all honesty, we've only been developing the game for 2.5 months, so I wasn't expecting much. But by golly, the response has been overwhelmingly positive, and that is great. That is like a huge relief for me, especially since it's my baby. And I really thought that, we're not ready. We weren't supposed to be here, to be honest. But we were invited, and we said, "Heck, why not? We have a ready build. Let's see what happens." And everyone that's played it so far has been really blown away by the game. It's very easy to play, difficult to master, and then a lot of the Pinoy pop culture elements really shine through. A lot of the geekery and the fan service really comes out, and that's really what we wanted to touch on. It's not just about making the game enjoyable, but also the story and the backstory. And the past few days were just a joy. It was a blur. I was like, wow, I didn't realize so many people would actually like what we were doing. And it's just made us even more excited to come up with the next version, a playable version for everybody to try.
All right. So you mentioned it's been just a few months in development. What's the next step now, and what are the challenges that are coming? How do you plan on facing the what's coming up next for this game?
Well, so you mentioned about filtering the garbage from the good games. Yeah. So that is our goal right now, is trying to prove ourselves as apart from everything else that's coming out in the store. So the goal here now is to first launch a very successful prototype, a very playable prototype that showcases our procedural generated concept as well as the storyline that will make it shine. And of course, I'd like my team to be able to come to shine through because of the polish that they put into the game. So the first target will be around February or March to have a very playable demo already, like your alpha. And then around the 9 month mark, which should be around May or June, we hope to be able to be already greenlit on Steam and start our Kickstarter campaign by then. And then by the 12th month mark, hopefully maybe August of next year, that's when we want to launch the game. So from here to there, we still have a lot of steps to cover. But with this initial feedback from players and media about how much they like the game, I have a very good feeling that we're on the right track.
Well, I really hope, wish you the best of luck because I played it. I beat the boss. And I really enjoyed playing it. I loved all the little tidbits of pop culture and Filipiniana that was thrown in there, you know. So for me, who's a foreigner but who has lived and practically grown up in the Philippines, you know, I really love that appeal. So you mentioned also to me earlier that it's not just Steam you're looking for, but you're also looking for eventually PlayStation, Xbox, and the new Nintendo console. Is that right? Is that going to be like how is that process like of getting accredited to be on those networks? If you could talk a bit about that.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I have no idea. But we do have a lot of contacts and a lot of experience in terms of getting to know what you need to do in order to be part of a store, the licensing that's involved, what are the prerequisites in order for you to be even considered in that store. So we're already putting all of this research together. But again, all of these things will only take place if we have a successful launch on Steam PC. So that is our first goal. So, keeping my fingers crossed. Once we get through that part, we'll worry about everything else afterwards.
Yeah, like you said. So, all right. So to close things off, where can people go online to check out Muramasa Games? In general, your Facebook website, anything like that?
Yes. So our website, muramasagames.com, is going to be live next week. But we are already on Facebook. You can look for us at facebook.com/Muramasa Games.
All right, guys, that's Iggy from Muramasa Games. Thank you so much, man. Best of luck.